next thing we saw was Andrea Renee sitting in the audience with someone from Respawn, Vince Zampelli, talking about their next Star Wars game called Jedi Fallen Order. And so we only found out really
I can't sit next to him during this topic.
Two things is that we got a name, and also just we know it takes place during the Dark Times, which is between
3 and 4,
Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. John, resident Star Wars expert, what's your take on this?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to play the shit out of it because it's a Star Wars game. It doesn't really matter.
How many costumes are you going to buy?
Don't worry about it. I am a little disappointed they continue to go with that time period, though. There's so much rest of the universe, like so much more of the universe and canon that they can explore. And since they wiped out all the expanded universe, they can create new things. But between Rogue One and now Solo, and then this is Star Wars Rebels. Well, Clone Wars doesn't. Clone Wars leading into Rebels. It's all in this time period, and I feel like they're expanding it too much. I want a Shadows of the Empire game. N64 reboot. Just do that. Bring back in Prince Shizor, bring in Dash Rendar. I would pay so much money for that and buy all the DLC. So I'm excited. I'm going to play it, but I feel like it's more of the same that we've been seeing with Star Wars overall the past few years.
It was a safe choice.
It was a safe choice for sure. And I'm sure
it just coincides to the movies and what they're focusing on from a media perspective, right? Like that's the timeline that they're trying to focus on for side stories and stuff like that.
It's going to tie in with Rebels. There's going to be Rebels cameos, I'm sure. Solo, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. I don't know how you didn't see it yet, but Solo, the special appearance in Solo at the end of the movie, I'm sure there's going to be a tie-in with that character into the game.
I'm excited, to see like what Respawn is capable of. Obviously, we know them from the Titanfall games. A lot of the core staff came from previous Call of Duty games, so they have a lot of FPS sort of paralysis. So it's interesting to see like how that's going to get translated into a game about Jedis and lightsabers. So also, I mean, the other big thing too that we got was that they actually announced that this game will come out holiday 2019, which is. It means that this game has clearly been in development probably ever since Titanfall, before even Titanfall released, would be my assumption.
So there's a glimmer of hope that I have that they were going to be doing the Bounty Hunter video game, allegedly focusing on Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That they're possibly reusing some of that story maybe or something like that.
That would be awesome.
And it's maybe not even based on the Jedi, but about the events around the Jedi falling. And it'll be more of a darker game. I'm hoping for that, but I mean, there's nothing.
How much of the core story or assets do you think could be stuff that was from the canceled Star Wars games that EA has potentially is saying, hey, we created all these assets. How can we like leverage that stuff into this new game? Because I have to believe that like that stuff. We know that like when that project was canceled and Amy having left the studio. A lot of those assets had to have gone in some sort of vault or something and said, hey, we're probably going to come back to this at some point. We need to leverage this in some way.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think that could cause some controversy, though, Because, like, they canceled her game, and then they're going to just, like,
well,
they're going to hard and use a bunch of stuff from it.
Well, and I think that to your point, that, like, brings up a really interesting point. Is, like, what is going to be the gameplay loop of this? Because we clearly are hearing this sort of these two different conflicting messages from EA where they're saying, we don't believe in single-player games, but then here's this game that's probably going to be single-player. I mean, that is one thing, obviously, we don't, purely an assumption right now, we don't know what the multiplayer equivalent of this game, what it will have, if it will purely be focused. Is this going to be, an online sort of living game constantly where there's some sort of just multiplayer aspect, the whole game is online?
If it's the Old Republic, but new, the Old Republic 2.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Take all my money.
Take all my money.
That's the dream. All the money.
That would be the dream. But I want BioWare to be a part of that, I think, again.
But that falls into the extended universe thing that you were talking about before, right? Or no?
No, the Old Republic is still canon.
It is still canon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of time.
It's a mix of, okay, this got wiped out, this didn't get wiped out. Who the hell is actually a Star Wars character now?
Well, there's a bunch of time.
That's a whole different discussion.
There's a bunch of time between where Knights of the Old Republic and the rest of canon picks up that you could fill.
Oh, yeah.
Which surprises me that they don't try to fill more of that in because that was such a popular franchise.
Yeah, you could just do any general. Oh, we've got the Jedi and they're getting sent out to help a planet or something like.
Yeah.
You do so much stuff with it, but whatever.
Deion, what do you think
And Durant.
they decided to announce this with like this very just casual interview with Andrea sitting with Vince in the audience rather than this being shown on stage, curtain release and it's like here's the name of the game. Like to me this is a really exciting announcement, and so it just felt weird to me, very disconnected that why they would just throw it in the audience like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of that is, I mean, not to skip around, but a little bit of that was like with Bethesda as well, right? Like,
sure.
It's like you want to let the fans know something's happening, and that there's just absolutely like that there's something that's going to occur. I don't think they have shit to show yet. I think, I think they have a lot to work through, and they're too scared to just like give you some nice visual demo. But it just gives.
But like not even the logo, it's like.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like so, how far along is this game really? If they're saying holiday of 2019,
we'll probably talk later on that, but I think it's gonna be like Anthem.
I think they're gonna delay
I think so too. I think it's gonna get delayed probably 2020.